Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Retro Life for You. My name is Chris Adams, host of the show, and with me this week is Marty Phillips, and we are going to do our part two of our Remembering Chuck Norris episode. We got through the mid 80s last week, Marty, and
hmm
we're going to
And
pick up where we
now
left
we're
off.
kicking into the 90s.
That's right. We're going to go ahead and just
High kicking into the 90s.
high kicking, roundhouse kicking our way into the 90s.
Yep.
Just like on the screen behind me, roundhouse kicking. Chuck Norris. So we touched on a lot of stuff of his early career, and we were just talking about this before we started. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there real quick. We talked about him training some people, and I'd mentioned Steve McQueen, I think it was, who talked him into getting into acting because he was training in some. But he also trained, as you pointed out, Bob Barker and Donnie Marie Osmond. I also saw where he had trained Michael Landon and Dan Blocker from Bonanza, as well as Dan Blocker's kids. So
and Priscilla Presley.
Right. Well, we mentioned Priscilla Presley last week, though, along with Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
So he's taught a few people. There's probably more. I'm sure there's probably more, but
you know there is.
Yeah, but we're going to jump on into around the 90s at this point, because the only thing left to talk about in the 80s was Hero and the Terror, really. And that's more, I always considered it kind of like a more modern version of Silent Rage in a way. So, and it was a pretty good movie, but still want to jump deep into it or anything. And plus, time restraints. We're not going 3 episodes. So we're going to knock out as much as we can today. Right, just 2. We'll knock out the rest of it today if we can. So in the 90s was his transition to TV era, plus about 5 movies, I believe it was. Delta Force 2, The Colombian Connection, The Hitman, Sidekicks with Jonathan Brandis, Hellbound, and Top Dog. I can't help but think he did Hellbound. Well, no, Schwarzenegger had that movie.
The horror movie.
But that was more in the 2000s, wasn't it?
End of days.
Was that 90s or early 2000s?
No, it was right. If you remember, End of Days was going straight into 2000. It was the new year. And so it was literally End of Days. They released, I think, right around Christmas time in 1999. So
I was thinking that Hellbound was, that might be late 90s as well. Then, if that's the case, I mean, maybe they made that because Schwarzenegger had End of Days, and he put out his version of a movie similar to that.
Yeah.
Hellbound was done in 1994. So can't say that, can we?
No.
Could be. Hey, could have been the other way around, though, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you never know. Funny enough, the movie Hellbound had Sheree Wilson in it also, which was also in Walker, Texas Ranger. Just happened to notice that just then. So in the 90s, if talking about his movies there, to me, I started falling off of Chuck Norris movies during that time because he wasn't really doing the hard-hitting action type movies. Like there's no Missing in Action, there's no Lone Wolf McQuades, there's no Forced Vengeance, there's no Octagon, there's he's kind of settling down a little bit, it feels like. I mean, Sidekicks with Jonathan Brandis is more of a
family oriented.
Yeah, family oriented, a little bit of comedy to it with Joe Piscopo and everything,
Well,
and then Top Dog. I mean, Top Dog, come on. K9, Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
Top Dog. I mean, it's what was going on at the time, right?
Exactly.
The Hitman, I wasn't really fond of the movie The Hitman. Were you? Did you like it?
I do remember Hitman, but to tell you the truth, I haven't seen it in so long, I couldn't even tell you too much about it.
Right,
Now,
because I didn't like it
now,
so much, so I didn't watch it again.
yeah, now Top Dog, that whole, kind of coming off of like the Turner and Hooch, Canine. Uh, I did watch Top Dog, and I thought it was pretty funny, and it had decent action in it too.
Yeah. Oh, before we forget, I'm sorry. Travis is having computer issues tonight. We were trying to talk him through it before we got started, and it's just not happening. So he may surprise us and pop in halfway through. I kind of
He
doubt it.
might.
I kind of doubt it from listening to how it was going for him. But if he does, he does, and then we'll bring him up to speed where we're at. But I'm thinking he's not going to be here this week for the second part. So just a heads up on that. Um, if if I'm picking a favorite movie of his from the '90s right now, it's Sidekicks,
Yeah,
and it's because you think back to being a teenager, right? Um, Whether you were a kid that was bullied or you were a kid that was just left alone or whatever, you had an action hero that you watched, and you would always think in your head, if it be a daydream or whatever, you're thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I got involved in this? Or what if this happened and I stepped in? I'm Chuck Norris, I
yeah,
roundhouse
exactly.
80 people in a row, took them out, one roundhouse knocked out 5 people. I
Mhm.
mean, but it's seriously though, in all seriousness, this is what Jonathan Brandis does. I mean, Chuck Norris is his hero. He's pretending he's in different movies with him in his head. He's daydreaming about it. He reads about him in the magazines he carries around with him and everything. And Chuck Norris is what gets him through a lot of things. Well, he ends up being bullied and stuff, and I believe was it his mom or stepmom? Stepmom, I believe, gets him
Yeah, stepmom.
into training karate with her father, who had taught her some things. Um, wasn't that Mako that was in the movie that played her father was doing the teaching to him?
Yeah, it was.
I
Yeah,
was thinking it
Mako.
was, yeah. Uh, Fun movie, fun training things. It's not exactly like Mr. Miyagi and Daniel and the Karate Kid, that kind of learning thing.
Mhm.
But he's teaching him some stuff, and he learns very quickly, apparently, to the point where he
Yeah,
can break a stack of bricks like it was nothing.
exactly.
Um,
Or he could
m-
do that to begin with. So,
Movie magic, everybody, movie magic.
movie magic.
But in the end of the movie, Chuck Norris actually is making an appearance or something there where they're doing their little tournament thing, and the the guy that teaches the kid gets him to join the team, or the woman gets him to join one of the two. I forget which. And so he's actually teaming up with Chuck Norris. It's like his dream come true with his hero and stuff. Joe Piscopo is the opposing teacher, and he is very funny. He's humorous in this, brings a very
Mhm.
good comedy aspect to it. When he's fighting Chuck Norris at the end, and he gets hit a couple of times, he's like, "It's okay. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I didn't say go, man. No one said go." you know, throwing that stuff
Exactly.
out. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious stuff. Oh,
Mhm.
so if so is Top Dog going to be your pick for the decade for the '90s, or did you like one of the others
No,
better?
no. Top Dog was good. Sidekicks was a decent movie too. But for my '90s,
Hmm.
I don't know if it was done in the '90s, but it might have been late 89, 80, 89 or '90. But Firewalker, that
Firewalker was '80s, late
ah
'80s.
man,
Which is what's playing on screen behind me, by the way, everybody. It's
yeah,
Firewalker playing right now. That was late '80s. Him and Lou Gossett Jr. We kind of touched on it last week a little bit. It's kind of
yeah,
like what Karate Kung Fu Guy meets Indiana Jones.
exactly. And that's the reason why I thought it was interesting.
Yeah,
Was that it was humorous and it had decent action. So
yeah. No, but the best part of the '90s for me with Chuck Norris was Walker Texas Ranger. That started in 1993, went to 2001. 200 plus episodes,
mhm.
and it spawned off at least one TV movie for sure, which
Did it?
was Walker Texas Ranger Trial by Fire.
Mm,
I can't remember what year the movie came out, but I mean it did spawn off that at the very least.
yeah,
Now that wasn't his only TV appearance. Now back in the day, early on, when he was younger, he did make a guest appearance on the Rockford Files. Um, what was the guy's name that played the role of James of Rockford? What was his name?
Um, Garner,
Uh,
James Garner.
James Garner. James
Yeah.
Garner. Yeah. He was also a guest appearance in Hawaii Five-O, the original,
Mm,
and in Kung Fu: The Legend Continues later on back in the day when David Carradine with the TV into the new version of Kung Fu. He appeared on that one as well.
mhm.
Man done lots of commercials. He was out there
Oh,
as soon as he became
man.
a living meme. As soon as he became a living meme, he was on everything.
Exactly. Well, I think literally what started the craze was the whole Walker Texas Ranger. I mean, the TV series had so many people following it, and everybody that followed it didn't miss an episode. And I want to say that was when his popularity. I mean, he was already popular from the movies, but his popularity and his Chuck Norris status,
It went to a whole new level.
yeah, it went to a whole new level. So
Absolutely. We watched it every week. I think it was a Friday night show, wasn't it?
it was, yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
I want
watched
to
it
say it
every.
was on CBS back in
Yes,
the
it
day.
was. It was. We watched it every week. CBS had actually quite a few shows over the years of me growing up that I watched on that channel. And then they've had like a lull for a while where I wouldn't watch anything on there. But Walker Texas Ranger definitely was a show that I didn't miss week to week.
All right.
There was another show that came on later on CBS called Martial Law. Do you remember that?
Yes, and that was good too.
That was
I'm trying to think of his name.
Sammo Hung,
Yeah, Sammo Hung. Yeah.
and the girl was if it was Grace something or other, or if it was Kelly Hugh. I think it was Kelly Hugh.
Yeah, it was Kelly Hugh.
Um, yeah, and Walker Texas Ranger and Martial Law would cross over sometimes in that
Yeah,
show.
they would. Yeah,
So that was always fun to see Sammo Hung and Chuck Norris in the same episode.
exactly.
Sammo was fun on his own. Uh, he was around for a really long time too. A lot of people thought he was something new. That man was alive and well doing
Yeah,
doing Asian
like
martial arts films.
in the '70s, and yeah,
Yeah, he was directing them and he was in them. He was in that. He was either in it or he directed Yes, Madam for Cynthia Rothrock,
yeah. I want to
and
say he directed and he starred in it. So,
he could have been in. I can't remember. I know he was in at least one movie with her for sure. I just can't remember which one it is.
mm.
Um,
you know who I always thought would have been a really good team up, and it never happened. And I wish
what's
it
that?
would have. Jackie Chan and Chuck Norris making a movie together.
Yeah,
That would have been really cool.
yeah.
So
Well, with uh, the introduction of the Cobra Kai universe to go with the Karate Kid and everything, and Jackie Chan being a part of the Karate Kid, like the new Karate or next Karate Kid, whatever they called it,
yeah,
which they really did kung fu, not karate, and um, they crossed over and brought Daniel LaRusso in to help out with the last student he had.
all
So
right.
you had Daniel LaRusso and Jackie Chan,
Mm-hmm.
doing their thing together. In the next movie, it looks like they're going to have Johnny Lawrence, William Zabka, is going to be in there as well,
Oh,
and
nice.
get to be in there with Jackie Chan. So it's good to see, and it's not like Billy Zabka and Ralph Macchio are real life expert martial artists or anything like that,
All
but
right, all right. Not
in
like
the
Jackie is.
right, but in the movies they bring a good feel for it though. So
Hmm.
it's be definitely a fun thing to watch for sure. Um, I want to jump to the past for a little bit. Let's jump back to the '80s for a little bit. Kids in animation. Chuck Norris had a cartoon done called Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. This came out right in the middle. I mean, of having like He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, um, GI Joe, Real American Hero. It was peak 82's cartoon energy,
Yeah,
basically, when they did this. Chuck Norris voiced it himself, his character, which is not usual because, like, when they had the whole Rambo cartoon, Sylvester
yeah,
Stallone would
somebody
jump in and
else.
do
Yeah,
his.
yeah,
Yeah,
somebody else did. Yeah.
yeah. It was the guy we had on on the episode with us that did the voices of cartoons. He's the one that did the voice.
Mm.
I man, I can't think of his name. It's not Tom Cook. Tom Cook was the animator.
All right.
I am drawing a blank on his name. But what if you look back in our archive of episodes, everybody, um, he's in the interview section, and he's the only person in there that's a voiceover artist, practically. So you'll see him in there, and
Mhm.
you'll see he did all
And
kinds of voices for cartoons during
and
that time.
and he did one of my personal favorites, Thundar the Barbarian. So
No, no, you're thinking of Tom Cook again. He drew Thunder the
yeah,
Barbarian.
okay, yeah,
I'm talking the voiceover artist guy. He did some voices in Transformers the movie and the Transformers cartoon series. He did some on Voltron. He did Shipwreck on GI Joe and one of the others. And gosh, like I said, the whole Rambo thing. He did the voice for Rambo.
oh,
Uh,
didn't he do Brave Star also?
nope. Tom Cook once again, the animation. You're getting animation and voiceover completely backwards.
uh,
You're on a whole
yeah,
other show, buddy.
yeah,
Um,
you're gonna have to excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a little tired. I haven't had a lot of sleep, so.
that was my excuse 2 weeks ago. You can't take my excuse from 2 weeks
Oh
ago,
well,
okay?
hey! I can't help it that you were going to sleep on Swordfish.
Dude, I was practically no, I love the movie, but I was practically falling asleep that night trying to fight my way to the end of it. And I know I look so pitiful. I was looking at when I was editing, and I was like, look at me, and they're just going, Swordfish,
Yeah,
Travolta.
Swordfish. Halle Berry.
I mean, Jesus, come on. Wake up. Wake up, Chris. You can make it through this show. You can do it.
Exactly.
Well, although I almost did it, I almost fell asleep probably, but um I'm gonna tell you that guy's name was Neil Ross, by the way. The guy does the
Oh,
voiceovers.
the voiceover, yeah.
Yes, it's Neil Ross. So I'm sorry, everybody, and I'm sorry, Mr. Ross, if you're listening. I will see you in Huntsville here soon, though. Can't wait to see you there. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Huntsville's Comic Con is gonna be cool. He's one of many great people that's gonna be there. Uh, just a little hey, it's just a little plug out there for Huntsville's Comic Con. They're not sponsoring us or anything, but
But yeah.
I mean, we got Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum. We got Ming Na Wen. We got Christopher Lloyd. You got Will Wheaton. I
Ooh,
mean,
the
Zachary
Weezer.
Levi. Yeah, Zachary Levi, Vicki Lawrence. If you're a horror fan, David Howard Thornton, who does what's that called with a goofy
Oh,
clown thing?
Terrifier.
The Terrifier.
Yeah, yeah.
Judith Hogue, the original Ninja Turtles. Chris Sarandon, Fright Night and Princess Bride. Mario
Mhm.
Lopez, Andrea Barber, Dave Coulier, Ron Perlman. We got some Power Rangers there. We got some voiceover artists there, other than the one that I mentioned. We got some people from Sons of Anarchy, if you're a Sons of Anarchy fan. I
Yeah,
mean, come on.
yeah.
Got some voiceover artists from the Clone Wars. Ashley Eckstein or Eckstein, however you say her name, she's gonna be there. So looks like there might have been some cancellations too, unfortunately, because I'm missing a few people's faces on here.
Uh-oh.
But as long as my main people are there, I'm still cool.
That's right.
Anyway, so there's your free plug, Huntsville Comic Con. Enjoy that one. I'll talk about you more once I actually go there. But his yeah, the whole Karate Commandos bit, man, it's definitely something else. He leads an elite team called the Karate Commandos, fighting a terrorist organization led by the villain Super Ninja. Each episode begins with a live action Chuck Norris intro where he talks directly to kids, explains his mission, and teaches a moral lesson. So think action plus public service announcement plus martial arts philosophy. And that's what you were getting. You had Chuck Norris. The heroes were Chuck Norris, Chemo, I think it's Tabe, Reed Smith, and Too Much, which was like a comic relief kid or something like
Too
that.
much.
And the villains were the Super Ninja and the Claw and other henchmen. So it's like a very heavy tone and style of GI Joe style storytelling. Though, if you were a GI Joe fan, very heavily reminded you of GI Joe,
Yeah, it did. So
but with more martial arts. You know, GI Joe. Sometimes when you got Quick Kick or Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes, you got some martial arts stuff in it, but
oh yeah, yeah. You know
but
you
not
do.
not quite like this. So it's clearly good versus evil with moral lessons. And then being Chuck Norris, he teaches the honesty, discipline, respect, and things of that nature. Uh, it's a big part of what they call the cartoons teach kids values era. Remember, a lot of He-Man did it, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah. Then
had
right at the end of the He-Man cartoon, it always had eat your vegetables or stay in
right.
school or
Don't answer
or
the door for
something
strangers, kids.
crazy. Yeah, don't answer the door to strangers.
I don't care
Stranger
how good
danger.
that candy looks. Don't go to the white van with no windows.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem with this cartoon was only lasted 5 episodes.
Yeah. It didn't draw the attention like they wanted it.
Yeah, there was an oversaturation of 80s cartoons at the time. It needed a toy sales to survive, and it didn't really have that. It couldn't compete long term with G.I. Joe because it was already such a big hit already.
Mhm.
G.I. Joe was.
But
So, I mean,
but I do remember the toys for that
yeah.
line. I
Yeah, they were
mean,
produced by Kenner, same company behind Star Wars toys. They put out action figures for them. You had multiple variations of Chuck Norris. You had his
yeah,
team.
didn't one have like a roundhouse kick, like you pull a button in the back
I believe so.
and his leg would like
I believe so. They were the 3.7-inch scale figures like G.I. Joe was.
uh,
And they included weapons and accessories designed for play and collectability. There's vehicles and play sets, like military style vehicles, helicopters, and transport units built to compete directly with G.I. Joe's toy ecosystem. But I mean, G.I. Joe already established,
yeah,
big with the
exactly.
kids.
Like
So if you
years,
do you
probably years
remember
established.
do you remember when G.I. Joe toys were a big thing? Now,
Oh
if
yeah.
you at that time, would you have rather your parents bought you some G.I. Joes or GI Joe vehicle, or would you want Chuck Norris Karate Commandos? Really,
I would take the figures.
GI Joe all day long.
GI Joe figures, yeah.
Yeah,
And well, I would say if I could split it like half and half money wise,
yeah,
I'd take one vehicle and three figures. So,
yeah. What their goal was, the toy line was designed to turn Chuck Norris into a kid-friendly action brand. It's going to blend martial arts and military action and team-based heroes in, and they wanted the kids to take to it. But if you were a kid at that age, the only two words you yelled was "Yo, Joe."
yeah.
That was it.
Or I have the power.
Yeah, well, when it comes to like army stuff, though, I'm talking. Obviously, we all thought we were He-Man with the power sword. We thought we were Brave Star. We thought we had strength of the bear and speed of the puma. You
Mhm.
know, we couldn't transform into anything else. But yeah, you know,
Yeah,
they had cool names. You
exactly.
know, Trailblazer, Wheeljack, Bumblebee,
Hmm. Yep.
side swipe,
Sideswipe. A mirage. So,
Mirage, Sunstreaker. Oh my gosh. So the show didn't last long enough is the reason why the toy line really failed. The show just didn't last long enough to build momentum. Kids were already loyal to G.I. Joe and Transformers. So you had a limited market push, short. So the result was a short production run with limited distribution, and then cartoon was gone. Now, the good thing about it though, if you had them, is that they are highly sought after by retro toy collectors today,
yeah, big time, big time.
especially if you got mint condition figures, if you got box sets, unopened toys, they're considered a hidden gem of 80s toy legacy.
Mhm.
So, um,
I
it just,
I want to say one of the episodes of the show that's on MeTV. Remember we were talking about her. You were you were thinking about trying to get her as a guest on the show. She was on the Facts of Life.
Yeah, and I'm still gonna try. She played Blair, Lisa
Yeah,
Welchel.
yeah, and she's got a show that comes on Sundays. And I was watching one episode, and this toy collector, the only toys that he collected was just Saturday. It was like Saturday morning type cartoon toys, plus stuff that showed like during the daytime, like around after we got out of school.
Hmm.
Like this guy just collected just those type toys, and he literally and what's crazy is she didn't even recognize it yet until he actually said, "Well, he held up a package, and it was Chuck Norris in the package." And she didn't even recognize that it was Chuck Norris until he said something. So,
Chuck Norris, girl, will make him roundhouse kick you.
yeah, exactly.
Lord. Um, Something else that Chuck Norris did, and I do not remember the year off the top of my head. Um, I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. Chuck Norris had a little stint where he showed up at a WWF event. It was the 1994 WWF Survivor Series, and he was there for the Undertaker and Yokozuna, the Undertaker versus Yokozuna casket match. That was one of the Undertaker's premier matches at the time. Basically, he would roll his opponent out into the casket, and whoever gets the door slammed on them in the casket loses. Match is over.
Exactly.
So during the match, Chuck Norris is there serving as a special guest enforcer. He ensured fair play by delivering his signature roundhouse kick. It really was not a roundhouse kick, it was a side kick to Jeff Jarrett, who was interfering on the behalf of the $1 Million Corporation. And Jeff Jarrett walks out all cocky and everything, like he ain't gonna do nothing to me, you know. And he goes to go on by him, and he gets a boot in the gut for his trouble, and he goes down like a little baby, going, "Oh, you know."
Exactly.
Talk about selling. He sold that one for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and that was his extent to that. The appearance of this took place during the height of the Walker Texas Ranger fame. And I ain't saying it was the height of his fame. I don't know why they say that. It's the second year of the show. The height of the fame would have been midway through the series, I would think, where he's
Yeah,
starting,
like fourth season,
really
probably
taking
right around
off, you
fourth
know?
season.
Right. I mean, the way these people write things sometimes really blows my mind. Let's not
Mhm.
get too crazy about it here. He's referenced on Sons of Anarchy quite a bit, but he's never been on there. He's a guest appearance on Yes Dear. He's got numerous commercials, which Marty has been kind enough to send me a couple of times.
Yeah,
The Chuck
yeah.
Norris commercials were good.
Mhm.
Chuck Norris was in my favorite game of all time at one point, World of Warcraft. He was made into a hunter, um, and that was fun. That was after they had Mr. T and the Mohawk grenade, I believe. They brought in Chuck Norris as a hunter, and it was
Yeah,
pretty. Oh,
and
that was pretty.
then he'll give you the hunter roundhouse kick.
That's he give you something for sure. That was pretty cool. Like, he was not a playable character. Before anybody asked, he was not a playable character. It was just a cartoon thing. There may have been some kind of little brief thing in the game or something tied to it. I don't believe he has any kind of NPC in the game that
Yeah,
references him. Like,
like an unlockable character. So
right now, there are some people who have references to themselves in the game. Robin Williams has a reference to his daughter in there. His daughter's name is Zelda.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they were both very big gaming fans and everything. And I don't know if it was him or her that liked World of Warcraft or what, but they did a little thing for him on that. Um, and then just look up World of Warcraft and celebrities and see who all you can tie to it. Let me know in the notes down or in the notes. Let me know in the comments down there how many people you can pin from World of Warcraft that were celebrities and had their appearances in the game.
Probably a lot. So,
I'm sure there's probably people who play the game who can tell me right away. I know several of them, but I'm gonna leave it for you guys to put in there. See how many you get.
but
Late night talk shows, that's a given. I'm not going to go over those. That's just a given thing. You know, that's going to happen. He had a video game from mobile phones and stuff based on his meme persona called Chuck Norris Super Kicks. I never seen that before though. Honestly, I never played it.
yeah, I've never seen it. So
Right. One thing he did have back in the day when he wasn't really doing a lot more movies and stuff, and maybe TV was starting to slow down. I don't know the first year this came out, but he was doing commercials for Total Gym.
yeah, the Total
And
Gym.
Total Gym. I had a Total Gym.
It whoop your ass. Total Gym.
I had a Total Gym. I didn't have the biggest version of it, but I had the Total Gym. And basically, what it was you adjusted the height of this thing that you laid back on, and it would slide back and forth. Okay, and people looked at it and said, "Oh, well, that's just how's that'll work? Yeah, that looks easy." Okay, you're using your own weight against you.
Yeah, it's using your own body weight against
So
you.
if you
Yeah.
are doing the things where you're sliding, you're sitting back and you're pulling yourself up, so you're sliding up. You know, you're taking your hands and pushing down and making yourself go up. Take into consideration how much you weighed. When I got the game, the whole thing, I was about 245, 250. So I am trying my best to push myself to push 250 pounds up a slide thing several times. So you're doing like 15 reps in a set and so many sets, right? You would much rather get on a bench press and do that than you would doing what I was doing with that.
Exactly.
So depending on how you had it set up, depending on how you know how the tension worked and how you worked your weight against you, but it was a good thing. It worked too. It would get you into a little bit of shape. If you could lose some weight if you were dieting with it, you know, you're working your body out and you're burning calories and stuff.
But
If
my
you're
thing is,
somebody,
man, on those info commercials, Chuck, man, he was just like, he was sitting straight up on that thing and just like, he was pulling it and just like, I mean, just, he was doing them reps and his muscles are about the size of Schwarzenegger's. I mean, it's
yeah,
like,
well, don't think Total Gym was going to build your muscles like that. Okay, don't believe in that. Now,
mm,
what it would do for you, Chuck Norris already had them muscles. Come on.
yeah,
What it would do for you though is help you stay in shape. It'll help you stay toned out. Or if you weren't toned out, it would help you get toned out. As long as you were dieting with it and still doing exercises and everything, it would
yeah.
help you in that case for sure. I had one. I never got to the toned out part because, like everybody else who starts something, I quit. I had I
Yeah.
had Total Gym for about a year or so at the house, and eventually we sold it online. I believe, like on Facebook or something like that. So, but it was well worth having, and I kind of almost wish I had it again, honestly. But it was cool. So that's one of the big things he did over the years. Now, do you remember the people he had in the commercials with him?
Yep, Christy Brinkley, and I want to say the what is her
There,
name?
there was more than one, but I just remember Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, I remember Christy Brinkley, and I want to say he had Cheryl Ladd on there at one time,
You could have. I don't know. I
and
just remember Christy Brinkley actually.
what is her name? She used to be married to uh, dadgummit, I can't even remember her name anymore. She used to do the rooms to go, uh, the furniture store commercials.
Um, and I can't think who that would be.
I can't remember her name right offhand, but
Yeah,
she's got a signature mole on her upper lip, and she's real well known for like that little character mole that she's got.
was it Jadine Turner? I
Mm,
know. I know his wife Gina was on some with him, and of course Christy Brinkley was, I think, the original or most iconic
yeah,
one at least.
Yeah,
I'm looking at a list of people that was in there with him. And it's all it's bringing up is Christy Brinkley and Janine Turner and his wife Gina.
yeah. It might have been just the three.
It could have been. There may have been more too. I don't know. Um, but anyway, his whole total gym thing, late night infomercials, pushing that thing for sale. No telling what he made off of it. Now, but
Oh,
just before he
millions,
passed away, huh?
millions, probably.
Millions, yeah, probably. Just before he passed away, he was putting his stamp of approval on a thing called Morning Kick, made by Roundhouse Productions or something like it. They were calling it. I don't know if it was his company for sure, or if he
Uh-huh.
just partnered with it and gave him his stamp of approval. But it's like a morning drink. It's just powder. You mix it in with a little bit less than half a bottle of water. You shake it up. You drink it. It helps you along the day with some energy, fat burning, and uh,
Hey, hey, right here. I literally, if the stuff didn't cost so much, because what I was getting a canister of the morning kick, and it was like almost $80 on Amazon, and it would only last like a month.
it's
But
a monthly thing, and you were overpaying, my friend. Let me tell you, $50 a
yeah,
month. Fifty
yeah, and
bucks a month from the what through the warehouse directly. $50 a month, okay.
yeah,
And
and
if you get it reoccurring, you get it for 45, I believe.
yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean, for 2 months, I was trying it, and then this was when I was working at Amazon at nighttime, and I would go in and I'd have my little green drink, and I'd walk back to where I was at, and I'd be drinking on it. And to tell you the truth, I was like, dude, I was feeling pretty good the whole night. Just I was wide awake. I had a bunch of energy, and just yeah,
yeah,
it
it does work.
and I mean it. Like I was even losing a little bit of weight and
Yeah.
everything. So
Well, it does work. I mean, I because you're the one in between you and our mutual friend Doug. Between the two of y'all, I ordered it myself and tried it, and yes, it gave me energy at work. I work in a warehouse, so it gave me energy. I'm working all through there. I'm upping the amount of work I'm putting in. I'm not feeling tired from it. So since I'm up in my work, I'm also burning off calories and everything. It ups your
uh
metabolism a little bit, which helps you burn off, calories and fat as well. And then if you pair it with the other thing they've got called three hit combo, if you're a person who is um, insulin resistant like myself, then this three hit combo does help because it helps you from storing all the extra insulin your body makes that you don't need and everything. It in my case, since I'm insulin resistant, it stores as fat cells in my stomach area.
yeah,
If by taking the three hit combo, it does cut that back quite a bit. So, um, not that anybody can tell since I'm sitting down or anything. And even if I stood up, you wouldn't know me from before. My stomach we used to be a lot bigger than what it is right now, and this stuff, the combination of the two actually worked in helping me lose weight, gain energy, not store those all that sugar and stuff like that in the body fat cells and all. So I'm
mhm.
not trying to promote them. I'm not trying to say, hey, sing their praises, go get it or anything like that. But it
Yeah,
different things
it's
work.
good stuff. I mean it.
It is, but different things work differently for different people. So you may find somebody who listens to us say this and goes and gets it and it don't work. And they're like, well, Chris and Marty said it worked, but
Yeah,
for us it did. I mean, for everybody else, it may not work the same. So
yeah.
you never can tell. But if you do try it, I hope it works for you though.
Mhm.
Um, that's the most recent thing he's had to do as far as stuff of that nature and all.
I wonder when he was in Hawaii, when he passed. Do you think he was just on vacation, or do you think he was?
So Cynthia Rothrock's been quoted saying that she spoke with him and his wife Gina just before he was reported being very sick, and he has a ranch in Texas, right? But they own a home in Hawaii as well. And he had
Okay.
told her that he hadn't been feeling very well. He didn't know, how things were going to go, but he wanted to go spend as much time as he could at his place in Hawaii as well when he was there. It's a relaxing place.
Mhm.
So he went there and end up in the hospital at some point before he passed away. But he went to the place where he wanted to be at before he passed, at least. So that was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Um, TV movies. We discussed this earlier a little bit before we come on. Neither one of us really saw many of his movies. Marty, you said you seen, was it The President's Man or?
Yeah, The President's Man. I want to say I've seen part one and part two, and they were coming kind of they were looking kind of like coming off of the Texas, Walker Texas Ranger kind of
Yeah,
theme,
yeah,
but it was he was back in like a military kind of role.
right.
So, but it it just felt like whoever done the producing and the directing, it just kind of felt like a longer version of an episode. So,
Gotcha.
but I mean, it was they were still cool movies. I mean, both of them were. If you like I said, if you're a fan of Walker Texas Ranger, you'll like all three of the movies that they did. So.
I'll eventually get to him, I'm sure. They'll be on, one of these channels I'm watching behind me with his movies on there anyway, I'm
Yeah,
sure. But
I want to say the three of them are on. It could have been on. No, it was on. I think it was on Tubi. So I think it was on Tubi.
I I tell you one thing I wish it had been different in his career. Um, Later on in the years, Stallone brought back the feel for the '80s action heroes in his movie The Expendables.
Yeah,
And in the first one, of course, we had Schwarzenegger and we
Bruce
had
Willis.
Bruce Willis with it. So in the second one, we were told we were going to get Chuck Norris, and we did, but it wasn't a big scene. He wasn't one of the main guys that went through the whole movie with him.
Right. I mean, who we got mainly we got the reprisal of like Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. I want to say Wesley Snipes,
Yeah,
and
or Wesley Snipes may have been in the third one.
was he in the third?
I think he was in the third one with Mel Gibson.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
I could have swore Wesley Snipes was in the second movie,
And
and
if he
then
was, I'm not.
Mel Gibson, and then I know Mel Gibson definitely was in the third movie.
Yeah,
So
because Van Damme was in the second movie as the villain.
yeah.
But I don't remember for sure if Wesley Snipes was in the second one. I don't think he was. I think it was just the third. I could be wrong though. But
Mhm.
but Chuck Norris just appeared long enough to help them out of a jam. He just happened to be in the area where they were fighting these people. They got pinned down. They were out of ammunition. All of a
Mhm.
sudden, a
Yeah, I don't
tank
know where, man.
out of nowhere, a tank is blown up. People are dying, and none of them knows how it's happening. None of them. And then he walks out, and automatically you get this lone wolf feel. He even refers to himself as a lone
That's
wolf.
a lone wolf. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's a whole throwback to Lone Wolf McQuade. They call him, I forget his name in the
I want
movie.
to say they did just call him Lone Wolf.
No,
I mean,
I think it was Cutter or something like that. He had a name. I can't remember if it was Cutter or not, but he had a name in it.
yeah.
That
But
Barney
did
was calling him.
but did you notice when you noticed that he was walking away and everything? You hear the howl of a wolf
Yeah,
like in the background,
yeah,
and then all the like Stallone and everybody's like looking at each other, and then they're all like, "Where's that coming from?"
right. And it's funny because they acknowledge one of the biggest Chuck Norris facts in the movie. Because Barney's like, "Hey man, can I ask you a question?" He goes, "I heard this rumor about you, man. I heard you were bitten by a king cobra snake." And he's like, "Yeah, Barney, that's true. And after 1 week of excruciating pain, that
The
snake
snake
died."
died. Yeah, the snake died.
The snake died. Don't mess with Chuck Norris. That man can read Braille, all right? Don't be messing with
Yeah,
him. Or I'm sorry, he speaks Braille, not reads
yeah,
Braille.
he speaks Braille.
Man speaks Braille. Come on.
Mhm.
Don't mess with him. That man once threw a grenade, like I said last week, and killed 12 people, and that's before it exploded.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
man's tough.
that's just like the movie I was just watching earlier. I felt since we were doing, we were finishing up our Chuck Norris podcast tonight.
Yeah,
I was literally in the mood, and I put on Missing in Action Part Two, the beginning,
it's a great one.
and just like the whole action scenes in that movie is just great. I mean, he like when him and the one cat that was like the main bad guy when they're
Mhm.
fighting in the hut at the end of the movie. I mean, this dude. I mean, he only gets like two licks in on him, like decent licks, and Chuck's just whooping him all over the place in that
Yeah.
hut.
Yep. Yep. And he played a good bad guy too,
Oh
keeping
yeah,
the
like
POW.
like a really excellent bad guy.
So, well, we're about to go ahead and wrap this up shortly. What I'd like to do real quick, I'm going to throw a few trivia things out. I think I might have mentioned this earlier on the show. I know I told Marty before the show, but if I did mention this, I'm sorry for repeating it. But one of only 3 people from the United States to achieve 8th degree black belt status in Taekwondo. 10th degree black belt in Tang Sudo, and which is very, amazing on its own. We mentioned last week he made his own version, his own discipline. So that's impressive when you can come up with your own stuff and have something haven't named it or something.
Hmm.
Um, Reader's Digest once noted the story of how Norris, true to his character, prefers to find a non-violent way to solve situations. So he kind of lives up to his character in a sense. So he was
Yeah,
once in a bar when a customer walked in and said to him, "You're in my seat, move." And Norris complied. As the customer sat down, he recognized Norris and he then said, "Chuck, you could have kicked my butt if you wanted to. Instead of moving, why didn't you just attack me?" And Norris told him what would that have accomplished. Norris later said the experience resulted in him getting a new admirer and a new friend. So try to be cool, people. Don't just fight every time you want to. Okay, if Chuck can
exactly.
do it, you can do it.
Live, live by Chuck rules.
That's right. What would Chuck do?
What would Chuck do?
Um, he was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu under the Machado brothers. Him and his brother Aaron Norris were made honorary Texas Rangers by Governor Rick Perry on December 2nd, 2010. We mentioned him being the teacher of father-son actors Steve McQueen and Chad McQueen. Chad McQueen had some B movies back in the day. He was also in the Karate Kid movie as Dutch,
Yeah.
if you remember that.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. He was made an honorary Marine in March 2007. He would visit the troops over in the Middle East. Let's see here. He founded 2 of his own martial arts. It was called Chun Kuk Do, the Universal Way, and American Tang Sudo. On an episode of Walker, Texas Ranger, his co-star Clarence Gilliard character read the book The Secret Power Within, which Chuck Norris wrote himself. A nice little throwback to him on that.
Yeah. Do you
And
do you have like a most memorable Walker Texas Ranger episode?
oh man, um, there was several when he had some actual good fighters come on there to face off with him. The guy, I can't think of his name, but he played Jimmy in Roadhouse.
Yeah,
He was
yeah, yeah.
he was on there a couple of times, and those were good episodes,
Hmm.
for sure. Man, I don't. It's been so long since I've watched the TV series itself. I know I've seen the entire thing all the way through, including when he had the new people come in with him,
Yeah.
and Nia Peoples and the other guy. But I mean, gosh, I think one of them when Cherie Wilson's character got abducted and he had to go rescue her from the family that took her. I think that was a pretty good episode.
Hmm.
Um, There's so many that come to mind, though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really hard just to pinpoint
The
one.
the ones that come to mind for me is in the later in the series. I want to say it was right around like the how many seasons did Walker? It went 8 seasons.
It went 93 to 2001.
Okay, so I want to say it was like maybe in the second to the last season, but it was like a 3 or 4 part episode, and it all tied together. And it was where Walker was working with the FBI to take down like the main bad guy, and the main bad guy was Michael Ironside,
Yeah.
and then I want to say the computer guy that was with Michael Ironside might have been Jamie Kennedy. I think it might have been him, but I'm not like 100% sure. But but all those episodes, those are all really good episodes because at the very end, Chuck Norris and Michael Ironside like face off on each other, and you were kind of thinking Chuck was going to take him down pretty quick, but Michael Ironside was like throwing some blows on him, and and
Now,
that was the one thing that you always kind of noticed. It was like even though Walker, he was always, he'd throw the the roundhouse kicks or he'd throw the punches, but he gave that feel of like like I could actually lose against this person, but I'm gonna give it my 100%
yeah.
that I'm not going to lose. So like he never came unscathed from a fight. He either had like a bloody nose or a busted lip or a black eye or
Michael Ironside was also in was it the next Karate Kid? Is that what it was called with Pat Morita?
yeah,
And
yeah, with oh that going, I can't even
I
remember her name.
yeah, I was gonna say the girl,
Yeah,
Julie,
yeah,
Julie,
Julie Song.
Julie San. Yeah, he Michael Ironside was like the bad
Yeah, he
teacher in
was the
that.
villain. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
the main villain.
he's the one to get to hear the story about how later that day, Bad Bull make good soup. Yeah.
Hmm.
In other words, be careful messing around with certain people, Mr.
That's
Ironside.
right. That's
You
right.
know, it was rumored that Chuck Norris was offered the role of Sensei John Kreese in The Karate Kid, and
Really.
yeah,
He did a
reportedly,
good thing. He did a good thing by turning it down. That would have
well,
just
reportedly he turned it down, claiming he didn't want his name connected with such a brutal, vicious character. But this is, in fact, an urban legend. Norris himself has disputed it. While appearing on February 9th, 2006 episode of the radio show hosted by Adam Carolla, Norris stated that he was never offered the role at all.
okay. Hmm.
So, and it probably wasn't offered any kind of role like that because that didn't fit him anyway.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't have made any sense whatsoever to bring him in something like that.
Who could have pulled it off?
Who's
Uh,
that?
the King of the Splits.
King of the splits. King
Yeah,
of the
the King of
split.
the Splits.
I don't know, man. He could have. He could have, but I don't. I'm glad it didn't go to anybody who was really good at karate. Now, Martin Cove is trained in martial arts, okay,
Yeah.
but he's not to the point where he is a Chuck Norris or a Van Damme or a Seagal. He's just a solid, instructor, fighter.
Mhm. Man, he was
Uh,
just a solid dude. I mean, it's like,
so having him do that though, it was good. Someone like him who fought like him, say Lorenzo Lamas. He's not a great martial artist. He could have been the one. What if the guy that played Terry Silver was the original guy offered as the teacher?
Mhm.
Thomas Ian Griffith. I mean, that would have been good. That would have been just as good as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I could actually see, if if the one guy, Thomas, you just
Thomas
said his
Ian
name.
Thomas Ian Griffith.
Yeah, if he hadn't got the part of Terry Silver, I could actually see Jean Claude Van Damme coming in. You know how he looked in No Retreat, No Surrender, with the slick black hair all down, and
Yeah, or like he also looked that way as one of the twins in Double Impact as well.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, he might could pull that off. Who knows?
Hmm.
But the whole thing was, I mean, it was him and the two of them as friends from the Vietnam War too, though. So
Exactly. So they had to be the same age. So, and I want to say probably Martin Cove and Van Damme aren't too close to age wise. So,
true. All right. Well, I guess this is the pretty much at the end of the show. We're gonna start wrapping things up, but we're gonna end the show by reading off just a few of these classic Chuck Norris one-liners that everybody loves.
well, I if you can, pull up that one commercial that I sent you.
Dude, it would take forever. That's a 13-minute long video.
No, just the commercial, the one where the two old guys are sitting there at the table.
I tell you what we'll do. We will download it and we will reshare it on the page and reference this with it. It's
Okay,
because
okay,
it'll take me a minute to find it and then get it up and then share it and everything. By that time, we'll be well over an hour at that point.
exactly.
But we'll get it. We'll share it to the channel. We'll just like it's one of our favorites or
Because
something.
because it is absolutely my favorite Chuck Norris commercial.
Yeah, they go back and forth, just like clockwork, one after the other for it.
Yeah.
But some of them they get on here. Some of the classic ones. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups; he pushes the earth down. Chuck Norris
Mhm.
can divide by zero. Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. Chuck
Oh, what's
Norris,
the one where it's Chuck Norris doesn't run, the earth moves underneath him, or
the earth
yeah,
moves
yeah,
under his feet.
under his feet, yeah.
All right. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door.
Mhm.
Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience, and it looks like recently he finally got that experience. Chuck Norris doesn't read books; he stares them down till he gets the information.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris can punch you yesterday. Chuck Norris can kill two stones with one bird. he doesn't wear a watch; he decides what time it is. Okay. Chuck Norris beat the sun in a staring contest. Chuck Norris knows Victoria's Secret. Chuck Norris can hear sign language. Chuck Norris can unscramble an egg. Chuck Norris can delete the recycle bin. Chuck Norris can strangle you with a cordless phone. That's a good one. Google doesn't search for Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris searches for Google. Chuck Norris can access deep web using Internet Explorer. Chuck Norris doesn't need Wi-Fi. He just stares at the router till it connects. Let's see. Chuck Norris beat Superman in arm wrestling with both hands tied behind his back.
How's that?
Don't ask. I don't know. Chuck Norris counted to infinity before Thanos snapped his fingers. Let's see. Chuck Norris can light a fire by staring at the wood. Chuck Norris doesn't get wet. Water gets Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can drown a fish. Here's a good one. Chuck Norris can clap with one hand.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs once looked at Chuck Norris the wrong way, and well, you know what happened.
You know what happened? Yeah.
Anyway, that's your Chuck Norris stuff. If you guys like the episode, make sure that you are liking and subscribing to us
Mhm.
on I'm sorry, on YouTube. Make
And
sure
hit
you
that bell.
hit that bell notification so you know when we got new things coming out. We are on Facebook, so like and follow us on Facebook and
Yep,
follow us
hit
on
that bell too.
Instagram. There's no bell on what I guess
Yeah,
there's is there a bell
it
on
just said
Facebook?
bell. I saw a bell right
Is
there.
there a bell? Is there really a bell on Facebook?
Yeah, you just popped it up. It was blue.
I didn't make the graphic. I don't know what you're talking about. Follow us on Instagram and for the most part, like I said, follow us on YouTube. We'd love to have everybody follow us there. That's gonna be the main place we're putting the content. We got content on there that we do not have come out on audio. This is audio as well, and you can find it on iTunes and Spotify and anywhere where you get your audio podcast. But we have extra stuff that goes to the YouTube channel that is only for the YouTube channel. So if you want to get the best of everything, make sure you are following us on there,
Mhm.
hitting up as subscribers and hitting the bell so you are notified when it comes out and everything. Marty,
Exactly.
Marty, I have to ask you one question now, and I just need one simple answer.
Mhm.
What is it these people need to do?
They always need to stay retro.
That's it.